Full of greatness, pigment, melanin, courageous. Genderqueer to spirit trends, elevate us across the lands. Beautiful beings, welcome, bienvenido. I am Kuwa Jasiri Indumela of Authentic Creations Publishing Apothecary, and I want to come to you and let you in on my spiritual journey. I think it turned into a spiritual journey, but how I am breaking harmful patterns in my life, my generational patterns around my familia, my parents, and just my lineage in general. And thank you for exploring this with me and being open to this. And I want to start by saying I'm on Arapaho territory, these indigenous people whose land is now stolen and occupied, continually stolen and now occupied. So let's take a moment of silence to recognize the traumas, the hardships that took place during the pillage of this land. Gracias. Thank you. So I want to begin by going in on my spiritual journey, my spiritual growth of breaking the harmful cycles in my life, which kind of happened around 2016. I first started getting tangible ideas on like how to kind of remedy things that were happening in my life or had happened in my life in a spiritual way, right? Because you can't always like actually relive moments of your life. So to reenact them spiritually as like a reprogramming has been really monumental in my life. And I, owe so much to Free Cascadia Witch Camp and that network of people that orb around there, and from there creating Emerging Together, the people of heritage art and magic camp from that, and just that community that I still have bits and pieces from, and in general from there just knew I wanted a more spiritual community, and this is kind of what that means to me, and and under 17 minutes or under 15 minutes but it might be long, and I also want to take space to really get this out because I didn't realize it was even this profound. I did not. I'm like holding it. I'm like, oh, but I'm like, maybe I'll set it over here. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, woof, going in on this. So in 2016, I went to my first gathering, magic camp, and people were just telling me what they were doing in their life to remedy things that had happened. And so in 2017, I began my first like active spiritual item. So I carried all the aborted babies that were in my life, my siblings who were aborted, and then my partners, kind of like my predominant partners over the last 3 years, kind of those things that we were dealing with in our relationships around abortion, having them in our relationship, or having had one, there was lingering traumas or just emotions or undealt with things. So without saying too much, usually my spiritual practice doesn't come out in these videos, but this is a special moment. So I'm just like, be tender with me. So carrying all my aborted babies in like a little pants. It was like pants that I like tied around my waist and put other clothes in. And it was kind of, fairly small. And I think for like a fourth of a moon cycle, I had on that uterus altar, to call it anything, had a uterus altar. And then I birthed those babies, 6 to 8 babies, into a creek, and they became fish. And so they got to come into this world and be honored, and in a way that worked for the humans. I'm not really going to give too many dates of when things happen, just trying to do a chronological order. And I never, in the moment, put all this stuff together. I was like, said a prayer, break these habits, and then that was like in 2016. And I didn't know how that was going to play out, right? I was just like, I need to break the cycle, break the system, and that's important to me. So then I did a rebirthing ceremony for myself. I was like rebirthed with my mother in Blantyre, Malawi, and that was really beautiful. We did that together. Then I stopped dating fleshy beings to make space to work on myself, to do this work. I believe you have to give up something to get something. And so I gave up dating, courting in the flesh. And I charmed my panda bear, who's like 2 feet by 2 feet, Mr. Big Panda, to carry Guga, a baby spirit, so I could practice. So I carried my panda with Guga in it around. And so like all my things. So my friends really liked going to the grocery store. My friends were really supportive, I will say. You definitely definitely helps to have community in these moments. Okay, so definitely gonna have community in these moments. And I think it's okay. I can see it in the video while it's recording, but that definitely happens sometimes when there's too much going on. But it always breaks so beautifully, I notice. So, support, community. And so I did that for 1 1/2 sun cycles. So, Guga, who I named Anchor, who renamed himself and came out as a he during a family games, which is really special. So he's great, and I no longer steward that way. I'm trying to follow my thing. Okay, so then Guga one day was like, hey, I thought you wanted a co-parent. And I was like, I'm not dating, and nobody wants to date me. And Guga was like, well, kind of like me. Like, can't you have like a spirit lover or a lover in the spiritual realm? So I made an altar with a black dildo and summoned in a co-parent who wants to be my lover, have a commitment ceremony, and really be committed for the next 20 to some odd years. And Daryl came, and Daryl and I have been courting in the spirit world until recently. And that's so I can work on meeting Daryl in the flesh. So I'm really excited about that, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So then I have a spiritual therapist. I have a spiritual being is my talk therapist. And so I did both talk therapy in the flesh realm and with a spirit being my therapist. And I've been doing that for 3 sun cycles, and I'm still in that. I'm still working on it. Different worksheets to work on. I have my self-care zine. Some exercises are in there. My next self-care zine, there's going to be exercises in there. So then in the flesh, I started dating Richie. And we've been together for over 2 sun cycles, and we're also lovers and co-parents. I just realized we haven't had a commitment ceremony, and maybe just what we need. So then I renewed my vows with Daryl at Haven's wedding to themselves. And then, okay, so then I made an elixir. So how I make elixirs is taking, like infusing events or moments in life. So I recommend that to make an elixir, and then I kind of just use basic tinctures that I mixed in with the infused waters of Haven's wedding and my vow renewal, of, you know, moment where Matt was very monumental in holding space for marginalized folks, people of heritage. So many potent things. When I lived in a people of heritage home, when we had the Youth of Color block party, these are all infused waters, infused moments that I can then infuse other things, elixirs, for example, with. And so I made some elixirs. Okay, and this is down here. So then I also had an original instructions ritual. And then, okay, so then I charmed Panda and Squirrel Beaver, like this puppet Squirrel Beaver, with the twins that I'm currently spiritually pregnant with. I'm trying to keep track of my arrows. So I'm spiritually pregnant with El Mellizos, with twins, owl spirit twins, I believe, and one wants to be named for an attribute of water, which I think is life, like Mini Wachoni, something around the life-giving properties of water. And then the other one wants to be a creature that lives in water. And so we are still trying to figure out what that means so that we can name the twins. So, oh, and I summoned perfect parents. So in the spiritual realm, I have perfect parents. When we still have up and downs and we work towards, you know, just communicating and being open to each other and available for each other, and realizing that we're all different and similar and striving for our best in ourselves and in the world. I think that's where I'm at. I guess I have a love. I didn't put it in my notes, but I have a love attractant. And so when I met Richie, I had made a love attractant. I was using it to love myself and summon Daryl, but I didn't know the magic. And now the magic is the first person I share it with, because that is Richie, and Richie and I are still together. So, yeah, I made one for Daryl that's got a little more pigment in it, and yeah, melanin. And so, okay, I wanted to go in on like 2 things. So one, the elixir that I made to break harmful connections. So I said it's a potion, not quite an elixir, but I said this was a potion because it's just a little more potent. So how was I was just going to do like simple kind of outline of ingredients. So you pick the ingredients, but they kind of have these attributes. So I put in some of the infused waters. So they have those. I like pride, protection, validation, connection, nervines, nourishment, sacrifice, empathy, communal care. And it looks like I made mine on Luna Lleno, on the full moon. So that's what I would put in there, and I matched it with characteristics in plants, gemstones, bodies of water, ferments. Yay, events. So that was really exciting. Really exciting. And I still have some of that. Okay, it wants to see you. Okay, mixed messages, but centering tincture, and then breaking the cycle, break the system, and what's in mine. Okay, and so mine's a tincture. My love attractant is like a thicker oil. Love attractant is a thicker oil, has abundant love in it, of course, abundant love, right, for myself. And that's what I learned in the first one when I wasn't really dating people, but I had a love attractant. But I did want to meet Daryl, but all these things and other things. Okay, so nervous. This is, what did I have in here? Unity, cooperation, melanin. So if you want like skin tone, longevity, playfulness, beauty, heritage, deities, and also gifts. Always remember to give gifts. Mutual respect, a spell. May this formula bring Daryl and I together in the flesh. Comunidad, serenity. Yeah, so I have a lot of exciting things in here and got deeper into my heritage because this is my second love attractant. So you're able to get deeper. The more you make medicine, the more you go back and do it again. I think that's all I wanted to go in on. This is so special. Thank you.